Hi people! Not too long ago, I soloed Rage for a Chasm on my then level 13 hunter Jippo. Since then I quested through the Barrens and made my way to level 18. 18 and a half even, as I had quite a lot of quests to turn in once I dinged. And so, just like I said I would, I started my journey to solo Wailing Caverns. Now at this point I was using a fast bow, and there is a pretty big loss in doing that, or several actually, at least when kiting or juggling. Each time you shoot an arrow or a bullet, you have to stand still for half a second to draw the bow or load the gun. With a faster weapon, you would have to spend more time standing still to get out your damage. Meanwhile, with a slower weapon, you would have more time to move while waiting for the cooldown. Also, a faster weapon means that your multi-shot deals less damage, and your aim shot deals less damage. And you run out of ammo faster. So I decided that I really needed a slower weapon, or this would be more of a pain than it had to be. I finished up the last part for the quest chain to get the quest for the rare weapons from Wailing Cavern, and I was then on my way. Utilizing a highly advanced technique called death skips, I died my way to Thunderbluff, where I would obtain a Blunderbluss, and some other nice pieces with more agility and stuff. And with that, I was ready to start making my way into the Wailing Caverns again, but this time for reals. First issue is getting inside the dungeons, as the cave before it is filled by elites. But I could either kite kill them with concussive shot and wing clip, or just do a couple of death runs, or just have a group wanting to do the caverns in a normal way clear the way for me. And so the garbage with a gun named Jippo entered Wailing Cavern for the first time, all on her own. First things first, get the nice buff. Secondly, start killing the raptor. Although it works, I dislike kiting with concussive shot and wing clip. There is really nothing special about it in my opinion, nothing about it requires creative thinking. If you've seen one mob killed this way, you've basically seen all mobs killed this way. Now, the perhaps single most important thing when trying to solo an entire dungeon is to find a reset spot, or well, hopefully find many. And it didn't take too long to find one here, which I could also utilize to quickly advance into the first Great Hall and this large cave system. However, there did not seem to be too many juggle spots, which is always a bit sad. But after not too long, I realized I could use the walk down into the ravine as a juggle spot. And then I died, so I had to get back inside again. And then I died again. And at this point, I think I rage quitted. Now, the mobs inside are really nothing special. Druids can cast lightning bolts and healing touch. Not sure why they aren't doing rafts instead, to be honest. The slimes can change color, which makes them immune to certain schools of magic. For example, you can't apply Serpent Sting to green slimes, but if it was already active when they switched to green, it's still gonna deal damage. The purple raptors are purple, and the blue raptors scream really loud when they die, which will pull nearby mobs. This can be an issue, so you can't kill them close to other mobs. Take them down into the depths before you take them down under. When pulling things down from the other side, you can stand and shoot at them for like 20 seconds before they reach you, which is nice. At this point, I died again from a screaming blue raptor. Finally, I was standing in front of the first boss of the instance, Lady Anacondra. She has 4 possible spawns, and in this run she was in the second best spot. I spent about 8 minutes trying to figure out how to separate her and the nearby raptor, but eventually the raptor went down, and it was time for the first boss of the instance. Lady Anacondra is essentially a druid on minor steroids. She has a bit more health, hits a bit harder, and has better loot. Luckily, all you really have to do is line of sight her casts, kite her in serpent form, and just keep going. Also, she puts your bacon to sleep every now and then. And bam. First buzz done. She also gave me a pair of shoulders, which is of course pretty awesome, but it's not like, you know, when you got shoulders for the first time in Classic, that was pretty dope. With that, I finally found a true juggle spot. Not perfect, but still good. Except that you can fall down. But besides all the flaws it had, it was flawless. Anyway, it was time to go for boss number 2, the guy serpent dude. Despite having spent a long time looking for skips, I did not really find any. None at all, to be more precise. I essentially had to single clear everything on the way to the second boss, which was rather non-creative in my estimates. Every mob brought down by utilizing concussive shot and wing clip. Over and over. There were so many mobs that I gained 8 bars of experience from just getting this part done. Luckily, however, this dude can drop a really nice pair of pants that I could keep using for something like 10 levels. It wasn't without excitement that I kite killed him for 2 minutes or so before finally running up to his corpse to see what reward I would get. And well, you guessed it, robes of the moccasin. At this point, I had only something like 300 bullets left, so I had to leave. But it was a good place to leave, as I wouldn't have to re-clear almost anything for the remaining half. I ran around and turned in the quests I had managed to complete. I even finished the Serpent Bloom quest, which I reckon few people actually did, as you on average had to do at least 2 runs to get all the flowers. I turned it in and it gave me my level 20. Since I'm solely soloing stuff to level, kind of, I can spec into marksmanship for aimed shots, increased range, increased crit chance and increased crit damage, all of which is nice. If I was doing anything other than this, I would probably be forced to go Beastmaster. Once back inside the Wailing Caverns, it was time to move right instead of left. But it became clear rather fast that the method I had used to clear everything on the left part was the same that I now had to use to progress through the right part. Killing everything with CC. There are a lot of mobs left to deal with. So many actually that I'm contemplating whether I should actually give Deadmines a go instead. But Deadmines is kind of the same thing. It's a long tunnel, meaning that even if I did find a juggle spot, I probably couldn't even use it for too long, as I would have to run an increasing distance with each mob to get back to it. And even if I did continue with Wailing Caverns, I'm not sure if I could even finish it, as the second to last boss deals a massive amount of damage and there isn't really any way to juggle him. Or it, I suppose. Regardless, this was all for now. Whatever option I go with will become apparent in the future. Thanks for watching everyone, and make sure to move your cursor over to the red button which says subscribe and do a left click, then also like. Anyway, this was all from me for now. I'll be back soon with another video, and until then, see ya!